in that last 10 minutes, we saw that there was a time jump at the end of the episode. But clearly you guys have been having some issues before that, right?
Yeah, you'll find out more on the reunion. There were some things Lisa and I discussed. I know that you guys have teased it a little about the infidelity, and that will come out in more detail at the reunion part 3, I believe. But there were a lot of things from the beginning of our marriage that had just kind of tainted the whole relationship. 3 months in, I found out he had a pill problem. Right before our 1-year anniversary, I saw some inappropriate text messages. Then fast forward to our 2nd anniversary, and I'm just trying to pretend like everything's fine, because in my mind, we're married. For better or for worse, this is the worst part, but we have the rest of our lives to figure it out. So this is just a temporary rough patch. I kept telling myself that it'll get better, it'll get better. And it did. The beginning of 2016, everything was genuinely good, and then the cameras turned on again, and then he changed. And that's when I found out he started using again. And I didn't know that at the time. My mom and other people around me had noticed a change in his behavior. I was either oblivious to it, or I just didn't want to believe what I was seeing right in front of my face. I was just like, oh no, it's just his skin's having issues, or no, it's this, or he's just tired. Like, I was always making excuses, but in hindsight, I'm like, oh my God, all of these things were plain as day, and I just didn't see it. So then after the wedding, you know, Katie and Tom took their honeymoon, and I was like, why don't we go on a second honeymoon? Like, let's just, you know, maybe that'll get things back to normal, or at least try. And that was at the beginning of September. That week in Hawaii was fun, and then we get back to reality, and it was just, he was always in the studio, and I was always at home by myself, and it was just, we were growing apart more and more. And then towards the end of October, he just didn't come home one day, and it happened to be the day that my uncle passed away, and he left and just didn't come home for a couple weeks or speak to me. And then during those 2 weeks, I found out he was buying pills again. And that was when I was just like, I'm gonna give him one more chance to tell me the truth. And as you saw last night, I looked him in the eyes and he lied to me, and I was just like, okay, now I don't have another choice. Yeah. I know I fully cannot trust you ever again. So I felt a divorce was the only thing we could do.